Ooh, what's up, everybody? My name is OMGWTF LOLFTWBRB. Welcome back to more WWE versus TEW, the weekly series where we take the events and shows that the WWE books, run them in the game, and see just how well the WWE does against TEW, or if Total Extreme Wrestling will be the company to bring the WWE down to its knees. Today we are booking the July 31st edition of Smackdown. Main event, Charlotte taking on Carmella, with some stipulations we'll go over as we go through the show. I actually just watched this show, so it should be pretty fresh in my mind, so let us just jump right into it, shall we? Ain't no point in wasting time, except let's plug in the charger first, that way we don't die. 50D plus rating to start off the night as Renee Young interviews Becky Lynch about her opportunity against Carmella for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This leads to Carmella coming down there, and she plays Becky Lynch for a bit here. She talks about how she realized, with the announcement of the WWE Evolution pay-per-view and how they're going to be making history, how she hasn't really been such of a great representative towards the championship. And Becky, despite being, one of the more popular people down in NXT back in the day, always, helped Carmella out and all this good stuff. And she really kind of plays Becky Lynch here, making it seem like she's on her side. Then all of a sudden the music of James Ellsworth hits, who may or may not be fired. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. If he is fired, it's kind of a shame, because I really feel like they could make some money with James Ellsworth. Like, maybe not like big money, but like he could be a good job guy, like a well-known guy that can help elevate people, which in return would help make them money, because he's, he's kind of like this era's Brooklyn Brawler, I feel, Or you could put him on the 205 Live division and help, be a face over there. I think if Enzo was still there, he would have been a perfect foil with Enzo, like, being like his copycat partner or whatever. Now, I'm not really sure who he could align himself with, but I feel like there's something Ellsworth can do. That's all I'm saying. James Ellsworth has worth, and if WWE did let him go, I think someone like Impact or so should pick him up, because he's got great, I don't want to say charisma, because it's not really charisma, maybe it's what everyone says is the it factor, or whatever it is. I don't know. It's just when he's out there, he draws attention. He's able to get heat. James Ellsworth, he's living the dream, baby. That's a guy that shouldn't have got a job, and he got a job just because he looked funny, and then he made the most of it, and look where he's at now. He's making money on the independent scene. If he's not, remember, I know he was doing that intergender stuff. But anyway, let's stop talking about James Ellsworth. So James Ellsworth music hits. This, of course, is a distraction. He does not come out. Carmella uses this to attack Becky Lynch from behind, smacking her with the championship and proceeding to beat down on her challenger, looking to take her out before SummerSlam. And that's when the Queen returns. Charlotte Flair races down to the ring, goes after Carmella, chases her out of the ring practically before beating her up a little bit, and pretty much checks on her friend, Becky Lynch. So it did gain some heat for the Carmella-Becky Lynch storyline here. Good stuff there. We then go to a 70C+ as Samoa Joe just menacingly stares into the camera while they hype up that he'll have a personal message for AJ Styles later on tonight. And then afterwards, a 67C+ as Jeff Hardy is sitting there listening to the music, I guess getting himself in the right state of mind for his confrontation with Randy Orton later tonight, because he also will be calling out Randy Orton, I would say. 47, solid D, as before we go to a commercial break, Jimmy and Jey Uso cut a brief little promo on the bar to hype up their upcoming, I guess, number one contenders match, but not really, more of like a number one contenders match to the number one contenders match. Whatever. They kind of channel their inner Rock, because, they're all like, you could take that bar, shine it up real nice, turn that some bitch sideways, and doing that. And then he was like, I was just trying to get my inner Rocky on. They're like, nah, we're the Usos. And then they're like, welcome to the penitentiary, or something like that. Generic Uso promo. Nothing special going on there. 54 C-, as just like it was on time, as Paige is just like, oh, here we go. I really enjoyed that from Paige in this angle. I'll start off with that. How she just kind of was like, yep, typical Carmella, here we go, just on time, yep, come on, what do you got to say? Carmella comes in there. She's all complaining about what Charlotte just did. Paige, she's like, oh, okay, whatever. I don't really care, And I don't really remember what Paige said that led Carmella to saying, you're just jealous because I've got what you'll never hold again, and that's a championship, which, a little bit of a tough spot for Paige at the moment, so she takes exception to that, and since Carmella wants to talk smack, she's gonna, make her pay for it, because tonight she's gonna show her what a real champion does, as she will face Charlotte Flair, and if Charlotte Flair wins, she will be added to the championship match at SummerSlam, making it a triple threat match. So that, of course, gained heat for the feud once again. 55 C- as the New Day make their way down to the ring, and they're not just joining commentary, they are commentary, because they got their own table with pancakes and all sorts of stuff. They put on some headsets. The New Day's on commentary, and this next match should be interesting because I listed all 3 members of the New Day. I took Corey Graves, Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton all off of commentary, and I listed all 3 members of the New Day to be on commentary for the next matchup. They're all weak to my knowledge, so it should not be... They should drag it down, I would imagine. Even though in the match itself, they kind of traded back and forth on commentary, I just figured, I'm committing. We're doing it, WWE. If you won't commit, I will. I can't make 6 commentators, and since you want to make the spectacle of the New Day having their own table and being, trading back and forth with the real commentators, I figured they're going to be the real commentators. 48 D+ rating. I'd imagine this match could have done better. And a decent matchup, The Bar goes over the Usos in 11 minutes, 52 seconds, when Sheamus goes over to Jey Uso with a bro kick. I don't believe it was a bro kick. In fact, now that I remember it, they were both going for like the double splash on Sheamus. This was a great match, by the way. Back and forth action. It's a great matchup here. Many close calls. Either men could have won this match because it just looked like, they were both on their game. Nonetheless, Jimmy and Jay both going for the double splash. I don't even know if... who took the loss? I don't even know if Jey Uso took the loss, to be honest, because they're twins and I didn't catch the name, so... But they go for the double splash. Cesaro comes in and catches one of them with a uppercut while they're in the air. The other lands right on Sheamus' knees as he rolls them up for a pin. And The Bar will face the New Day next week. And the winner of that match will face the Bludgeon Brothers at SummerSlam. So Jimmy and Jay have great chemistry, as we already know. Jay was really off his game. That's unfortunate. Big E, Xavier Woods, and Kofi Kingston, all pretty weak, which we knew about already. Definitely deserve better announcing. Jey Uso with a 45, the worst of the match, but he was also off his game, so remember that. Jimmy Uso with a 48. Cesaro with the best performance of the match with a 58. Sheamus with a 54. And it goes ahead and kind of starts our Smackdown Tag Team title feud. I guess I could have started this last week, but with the whole Sanity New Day going on, I figured that would have been like the end of the feud, whoever won that. So I did go ahead and end the Sanity New Day feud now that I feel it's over. Hopefully it's doesn't, peer its head back in with Sanity Costa New Day next week, but it is something I could see WWE doing. But nonetheless, I went ahead and started it, and let's just hope it doesn't bite me in the ass. Golly, guys, it is mosquito season, and I've just got mosquito bites everywhere. They are a pain in the ass. I'm like wearing long sleeve shirts and sweatpants anytime I go outside now to try to prevent them from getting me, because they have been biting me up. You might be able to hear me scratching in the background, but Lee, fucking A. Anyway, Cesaro is improving in performance. Good for him. 51 D+ rating, as afterwards the New Day get off the commentary table and they kind of get in the face of The Bar, kind of teasing a little bit of a showdown between the two before next week, but The Bar leave, and that's that. Gain some heat for the tag title feud, so I guess that's good. 90 solid A rating, not our normal 100 A star, but I guess it's okay. Once again, we decided to do something different. Big break John and friends this time. A little bit of a sideshow or whatever it was. I think it was 23 minutes long we needed to fill this time around. Whatever. 90 solid A rating. John Cena, Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho, all there. Rey Mysterio apparently underperformed and Jericho performed poorly. John Cena is just too much of a star for Rey Mysterio and Chris Jericho. That's funny to me. 43, Solid D, as we get the hype that Daniel Bryan will speak. He'll talk about what happened last week with him and The Miz. And then also Selena Vega makes her WWE TV debut. I believe this is only her second match ever, actually, too. I think she's only had one other match against Candice LeRae. And she'll be taking on Lana. And that's happening next. Golly, guys, I am sorry. These mosquito bites are really getting to me. And I don't have nails because I have a problem and I bite my nails all the time. So I've been using, like, other stuff around my room, like my lid to my deodorant to scratch them. It's bad. It's bad. My legs are, like, almost covered. My arm is, like, killing me right now. Whatever. Let's move on. No. 44, Solid D rating as Renee Young interviews Charlotte Flair about her match against Carmella later on tonight. Charlotte, of course, puts over that she wasn't expecting, a match at SummerSlam or even a championship match, but she'll take the opportunity. She was only here for her friend, but she, now she's here and she could, go on to SummerSlam and become a women's champion once again, pretty much. 66 C+ as we get a recap of Samoa Joe's attack on AJ Styles from last week, as we learned that he'll be the #1 contender for the championship. 66 C+ as we get hype for AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe at SummerSlam. Good lord, it's just 66 C+ back to back to back. That's like infinite curse. That's like 3 of them. That's 666, I think. Oh my god, this is the... I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here, guys. You know what? No, I'm committed. We'll keep it, but that's terrifying. That's terrifying. Whatever, 66 C+ rating. Samoa Joe comes out, and he has a message for AJ Styles, and his message is simple. He talks about how, it's funny that AJ Styles, said how he can now look at his little girl in her face and say she has a chance pretty much because of the whole evolution thing. When AJ Styles isn't even much of a family man. He can't even see them all the time, and he'd much rather be on the road instead of being a good husband to his wife. Really just putting it in there that AJ Styles is a phony family man that just phones it in. He's not the guy that you seem, and he goes on to say that he's going to do AJ a favor and the rest of his family because he will pretty much send AJ Styles back to them. He's going to give them their father back, and he even puts over that it's going to eat AJ alive because knowing at SummerSlam that secretly their family is going to be rooting for him. So gain some heat for the feud. Good promo from Samoa Joe, getting a little deep there, touching a little bit of personal, but Samoa Joe and AJ Styles have known each other for a long time. So if anyone knows AJ, it would be Samoa Joe, and I thought that was another 66. I was about to say, end the video, we're out of here. Cut it, we're gone. But it's a 68 C+, so I guess we're safe for now. Recap of Randy Orton's attack on Jeff Hardy from last week during the United States. Was that last week? I don't think that was last week. I think that was a little while back, like 2 weeks ago or whatever. Nonetheless, a recap of the Randy Orton attack on Jeff Hardy during the United States Championship match. The one where he goes to almost rip off his ear. 70 C+ rating as Jeff Hardy comes down to the ring. He calls out Randy Orton for the attack. Randy Orton does indeed come down to confront Jeff Hardy. Looks like we're going to get a little bit of a showdown between the two, but the WWE United States Champion Shinsuke Nakamura attacking Jeff Hardy from behind, lines him up for the Kinshasa, but Randy Orton kind of gets in his face, and for a moment there it looks like Randy Orton and Shinsuke might collide, but Orton kind of gives him the go-ahead, letting him do it, tells him to do it. Nakamura does it, hits the Kinshasa, he gets out of there. Randy Orton continues the beatdown, though, stomping on Jeff Hardy, slamming him into the announce table, and then goes ahead and rips off all his arm sleeves or whatever they are, rips off his shirt, goes ahead and pours some water on his face and starts wiping the face paint off. Randy Orton is intent on pretty much just ending Jeff Hardy, almost to the point where it looks like he's obsessed with Jeff Hardy right now. Did get the crowd hotter, and it advanced the storyline here, and it makes an interesting statement. Are Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura allies? Are they working together, or did Randy Orton just go, you know what, nah, you can go ahead and hit him, I don't care. But Nakamura's inclusion in this feud is still confusing to me. 46, solid D rating as Renee Young interviews Becky Lynch about the possibility of her match being at SummerSlam being a triple threat match if Charlotte can beat Carmella tonight. Becky is not really too happy about it. She, she's really been going through the roster. She's on a streak right now, and she feels that she can beat Carmella in a one-on-one match at SummerSlam. But with a triple threat match, she doesn't even have to be pinned or anything to lose. Charlotte can beat Carmella, and that's it. And Renee Young kind of goes ahead and asks her, well, does this mean that you're, rooting for Carmella in this match? But Becky puts it over that she'd never root against her best friend, pretty much. So that's that there. 39 D- rating as we get a recap of Rusev versus Andrade Cien Almas from last week. Of course, involving the Lana-Selena Vega interaction and Aiden English coming down and kind of costing, but not really costing the the match for Rusev here. Yes. Ooh, boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's bad. Then again, Selena Vega's popularity is horrendous. She's like at a 10, I think. Definitely something I'm going to have to look at. In fact, let's go ahead and Corbing. Let's go ahead and look at that Vega pop, because yeah, her pop is way off when I checked it earlier, but I can't go back and change it while I'm booking, so that was the unfortunate thing. 27 solid E rating here. Good God Almighty. In a terrible matchup, Selena Vega goes over Lana in 7 minutes 23 seconds in her first match on WWE TV after a distraction from Aiden English and kind of Andrade Cien Almas. Andrade doing some good work ringside. Lana and Vega have great chemistry, and it showed in their performance, so hey, there you go. This match probably would have been worse if it wasn't for that, so hey, that's good. Hopefully they'll revisit that more. Did cool the crowd, but that's to be expected. Lana hitting at the face turn, but I haven't really figured. There hasn't been much commitment to the bit yet. Like, there's a tease that one of the members of the Rusev Day will possibly turn face. Of course, most likely either Aiden or Rusev. Probably Aiden, I would think, because I imagine Rusev's going to turn on Aiden. But nonetheless, Lana with an in-ring performance of a 33, 10 points better than Selena Vega's 23. And it did go ahead and lose some heat for the Rusev Day feud, which is unfortunate. What is this? Is this just the turn? Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Okay. 51 D+ rating as we hype up that next week the New Day will battle the Bar, and winner of that match will face the Bludgeon Brothers. Speaking of the Bludgeon Brothers, 53 C-, Harper and Rowan backstage in their lair or whatever, tag team titles are hanging. They come in this, they enter the camera by staring at each other first, and then they look over. They pretty much put over that they're not worried about the New Day. They're not worried about the Bar. They're going to break the Bar and show that positivity is nothing to them, pretty much. No one can stand in their way. Gain some heat for the tag title feud. Good stuff there. 56 C- rating as Aiden English runs up to Lana and apologizes to her, lets her know that, oh, by the way, I didn't even explain the finish of the last match. So pretty much what happened was Andrade, got up on the apron and started distracting Lana while she was up on the, the turnbuckle. Aiden English comes rushing down and goes after Andrade. Lana, for some reason, decides to keep watching Aiden English beat up Andrade, and Selena Vega took advantage of it. Simple as that. But I don't know why they'd be mad. Aiden, both weeks in a row, is honestly, he hasn't done anything wrong. He's just trying to help, and it's pretty obvious that he was. But I guess they can be frustrated if they keep telling him, just leave it alone. Nonetheless, Aiden apologizes to Lana. Lana just says, what's best for you right now is just to leave, pretty much. And you can hear Rusev screaming for Aiden in the background. Aiden says he was really just trying to help before running off before Rusev can get there. Rusev comes in and he checks on Lana, sees if she's all right. And Lana goes on to say she understands that Rusev needs some space right now to figure out what's best for Rusev Day, but Lana needed him out there today, and she really could have used him pretty much, and just walking off. So everyone in Rusev Day seems like they're angry with each other. Aiden just wants to, mend ties. Rusev wants to, I don't know what he wants to do with Aiden, but Lana just wants, her husband, it looks like. 56 C-, gained heat for the end of Rusev Day feud. Had to say that like it's a question mark. The end of Rusev Day? 66 C+ rating. Daniel Bryan makes his way down to the ring, and he proceeds to cut a brief little promo on The Miz, you know, talking about how he came down here last week and he tossed what he thought was, you know, Monroe Sky, Miz's baby. You know, and Miz has always been doing this. He's been taunting Daniel Bryan, hiding behind, you know, whether it's a baby or the fact that Bryan wasn't able to compete, but he's cleared now, and he just wants to punch Miz in the face, so he asked for the Miz to come down here. But Miz doesn't come down there. He just appears on the Titantron. Apparently, he's on set for the Miz and Mrs. Bryan just starts calling him, you know, he calls him a coward again, which Miz, you know, harkens back to, you know what happened last time he called me a coward. You know, we were on Talking Smack, and I got in your face, and you walked away, and he just accuses Bryan of, you know, just rehashing everything since his, you know, return has been a flop, from Team Hell No to, you know, this whole thing with him and Bryan right now, just saying now Bryan just, you know, coaxing off his coattails, and he always has been since NXT, since Miz was a pro on NXT. Bryan calls him soft. He says Miz won't be remembered for anything because he's a failed Hollywood guy. He'll never be The Rock. He'll never be John Cena. Miz just tells him to pretty much let his contract expire, go back to high school gymnasiums, and entertain everybody before calling him a crybaby. And then annoyingly, a bunch of babies appear, and they're all crying simultaneously. That was stupid annoying. Hated that part. But pretty much just ends there with the two cutting a little deep with each other. Bryan digging into the Miz, saying he'll never be a Hollywood guy. He just uses WWE to be wanting to be a Hollywood guy, but he'll never be The Rock. He'll never be Cena. He calls him a coward, and he calls him soft. Miz, you know, telling Bryan, leave. You know what? No one cares about you, and you're just rehashing the old, you know, your old flicks, from the Team Hell No to the whole Yes movement to Me and You right now. Great stuff, to be honest. They cut each other really deep here tonight. Crowd was hot for it, gained heat for the feud. I don't think they should be fighting at SummerSlam, but at the very end, Bryan issues the challenge, says, fight me at SummerSlam. I don't believe Miz responded, but it's most likely happening. But I think they should try to hold off till WrestleMania, but that's me. 54 C- rating, as Carmella versus Charlotte is hyped, and it is next. And AJ Styles will return next week, and he'll have a message for Samoa Joe. His response, pretty much. Renee Young interviews Carmella before the matchup, asking her about the what am I trying to go on about here? Not the opportunity, but I guess the chance that it could be a triple threat match at SummerSlam. Carmella puts over that she's beaten Charlotte, and, you know, Charlotte's been gone and really doesn't deserve the opportunity, and how she knows that she can beat Becky Lynch in a one-on-one match, but in a triple threat match, she doesn't even have to be pinned or anything to lose her championship. So, but she does go ahead and puts over that she knows for a fact that Becky Lynch is rooting for her tonight, and then she laughs it off as she makes her way down to the ring. Main event time, 51 D+ rating here, and a decent matchup. Charlotte Flair goes over Carmella in 13 minutes, 12 seconds with the figure 8 leg lock. Back and forth action. Carmella looked good. She's really been looking good in these past couple matches, getting to showcase a little bit more of what she can do, I would say. But Charlotte ends up pulling out the victory when Carmella kind of mocks her and goes for her own figure 4, or I guess figure 8, whatever you want to call it. Charlotte counters into her figure 8 leg lock, tapping the champion out. And it'll be a triple threat match at the pay-per-view now. One thing I forgot to mention, and I forget to mention this anytime it does happen, but this Smackdown is going to do pretty bad, I would imagine, because we have more angles than we have matches. In fact, I think we only had like 3 matches on the card tonight, but we had more angles than matches tonight. And yeah, I think it was like we were like 33% or something, and what can you do? That's not my fault. That's the WWE's fault. I can't fix anything like that. So, should have mentioned that probably in the beginning, but mentioning it now, this was one of those rare moments, because WWE, believe it or not, has been pretty good with their match to angle ratio, you know, where it doesn't matter where they have more matches than angles or more angles than matches. But this is usually 205 Live that happens, but that doesn't matter. This is the first time I think it's happened on a Smackdown. I could be wrong, or, you know, a main TV show. I could be wrong, but yeah. Nonetheless, color commentary helping out. Charlotte Flair with an in-ring performance of a 53, 11 points above Carmella's 42. Advances the Carmella-Becky Lynch feud, which will now become probably a just women's championship feud. We then hype up that indeed the matchup has changed at SummerSlam. It'll be a triple threat match for the Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair versus Carmella versus Becky Lynch. And then afterwards, we end off the night with Becky Lynch staring at the TV, not looking too happy that her best friend has gone over Carmella, and now it'll have to be a triple threat match at the pay-per-view. So that's how we end off the show. And what do? 58C-. Yeah, I didn't think this was going to do. This is probably one of not only our worst shows we've done to date, not like our worst show, because we've done like D's, I think, with like 205 Live, and maybe even the Greatest Royal Rumble, if I can remember correctly. But this is probably our worst SmackDown ever. Like, I think this is our worst SmackDown we've done so far, or at least the WWE's done so far. It's not really me. But a 58C-. Fans were annoyed at the amount of non-wrestling segments that they all had to sit through. I don't blame them. And it lost us popularity in 39 regions. Good God almighty. That's something special. Well, we're here for 205 Live, and those who, maybe want to see some action probably should sit for this one, because apparently SmackDown didn't fit their needs. But that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor, leave me a comment, like, subscribe if you hadn't already. And as always, my name has been OMG WTF LOLFTWBRB. And I will see you guys for 205 Live. So until then, don't forget to share this video with your friends' Facebooks, Twitters, Instagrams, I don't give a damn, all the social media accounts out there. And in fact, if you got some friends you feel would enjoy my content, give them a share as well. And of course, I've got my buddies down below. I got to do some good for them. ZachManziNVO over on Twitch. Very active over there. Highly recommend checking him out. He's been watching some ECW replays, playing like, I think it's Showtimes of Legends of Wrestling or something like that. Fun old school game. In fact, watching him play it made me kind of want to pop it in myself and relive my old days back in, playing on the PS2 with those games. A bunch of legends in the game. Nonetheless, also Raging Yoshi here on YouTube. Check them all out. And 370 Gaming just started up an EWR save. Go ahead and check him out. He's just made his return. Probably doesn't need me to plug him. I think he gets way more views than I do. And of course, Brendan plays as well, doing his thing. I'd check them out if you're looking for good TEW people that I myself have been watching. Nonetheless, have a good one, guys.